All right, welcome back to the shop. So in this video, I'm going to be working on this 1976 Scout. This is my 76 Scout Traveler 2 diesel, which that's the only reason I bought it, because diesel is just cool. I've had a problem with this thing lately. I've owned it for a few years now, and I've never had a problem with starting or charging or anything like that. And it's been sitting over here in the front driveway for a while. And I went to start it and move it, and the batteries were dead. So I went through checking some stuff, and I couldn't find anything wrong. I unhooked all of this ancillary stuff that I had. I've got fuses for a few different things. Somebody converted this, I believe, converted it to dual batteries, because I've seen other ones where they got just one battery, which would be over here. This one's been converted, so it's got some kind of weird wiring, a breaker here for some stuff. That's the relay, I believe, for the glow plugs. So I kind of unhooked everything and charged up the batteries, and then they still went dead. So I thought, well, maybe the batteries are dead. So I called my rep over to O'Reilly's. He came and picked them up. We put some different batteries in it. We put in these I had some blue tops in it. I switched it over to these Superstart AGMs. These are really good batteries. I think they come with like a 3-year warranty. So I put them in there, started it. It looked like it was charging, looked like things were working right. And then so I unhooked the batteries just to make sure it wouldn't go dead. It's been sitting here for about probably 2 months now. I walked up to it to check on it today, and the batteries are both dead. They're flat dead. And I had the ground cables off of both batteries. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe I parked it under this tree. Maybe this tree's sucking the juice out of it. I've seen stranger things. So, I hooked the grounds back up. I went to start it. It's flat dead. So I was looking for a tool to be able to diagnose starting and charging in batteries. I have a load tester for batteries. That works good. It tells you that a battery has juice, and it's not just flat. It doesn't die off when you put juice on it or a load on it. I've got another one that came with my Autel that tells me your battery's good or bad. Just as kind of replace or don't replace. It kind of gives you a little bit of info. And then in the middle of all this company here, VDiagtool, contacted me and asked me if I would do a collaboration video on it just to show it off. So I haven't even used it yet. I did pull it out of the box and just tested it on a couple batteries real quick just to get a little familiar with it. Still don't know how to use it all the way. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. We'll see what's in the box. I'm going to have a discount code on here. They're going to give you 10% off if you buy it on Amazon. Let's see if it works. We're going to use it in this video, see if it's any good. If it's good or bad, this video is coming out. But I'm going to see if it's going to help me in diagnosing this problem. I even tried unhooking the alternator. I put a new regulator. I unhooked the regulator. I unhooked the wire that goes to the batteries from the alternator. I need to tighten that back up. And all that was unhooked, and the batteries still died. So I'm going to jump it with my pickup. We're going to jump start it, let it charge a little bit, and then we're going to test these batteries, see if they come up, see what the battery state is. It's going to tell us if they're good or bad, if we need to replace them or not. And then we can check the charging system and see if the charging system's working right, if it's working correctly. And then we can also check the starter on it too to see if it's dragging too much or whatever. So let's go ahead and get this box open and we'll see what's in here. Okay, so I'm going to go and hook up these jumper cables, and I'm going to start charging these batteries off of my pickup while we go back and look in the box and see what's in there. We'll get the ground on. Remember, when you're jump starting something with dead batteries, you always want to hook up to your hurting batteries, your dead batteries first, just in case they're off gassing, because they will explode if they're off gassing and you make a spark. I've seen some batteries explode really bad before. So look at this. Let's spark these. Touch these, see if there's even a spark. Oh, there's a little bit of spark to it. That's interesting, because the Scout would not give me any juice at all. Let's go ahead and hook up that diagnostic tool first then before I do that, because maybe I've just got a problem with my starter or something on here. Let's go back over here and let's open the box up. We'll see what we have in here. All right, so VDiagtool does 12 volt and 24 volt batteries and systems. You check batteries in the vehicle, out of the vehicle. It'll do a cranking test. It'll do a charging test. Volt waveform for you real nerds that know what that is, and also it'll store the data. Excuse me. So you can actually hook this thing up to your computer, and you can upload all your data from this into your computer and store it in there. I believe it stores it in here. Well, obviously it has to, but then you can go ahead and upload it to your computer, I guess, to do more analysis. So, all right, let's go ahead and open this up. Set this up on a tripod real quick. So, open the box up. It comes with instructions. They're pretty decent. A lot of this stuff, obviously it's made in China. I mean, everything is, right? But the directions are actually pretty clear. I just kind of glanced through them real quick, and they make sense. A lot of times you get stuff from overseas and the directions just make no sense at all. These actually do make sense. Slide this out of here. There's the cable on it. We got the screen protector. Take that off. And then here's the cable you could plug in with a USB-C to a USB to plug it into your computer. And the thing about it is there's no battery in it. It doesn't turn on unless you have it hooked up. If you connect it to the computer, it'll turn on. And once you connect it to a battery that has any voltage in it or any juice in it, it will turn on. So let's bring this over and we're going to see if we have enough juice in my batteries to turn this on. In fact, since I'm hooked up over there, I'm just going to hook it right up on these jumper cables just for right now, just to see what we have. Because I'm hooked up to both batteries there right now. Okay, so anyways, it lit it up. It's showing something. So we're going to go ahead and pick car. Hit it. Okay. I'm going to go 12 volts in vehicle. Battery test. It says check surface charge. Turn lights on and turn lights off after about 10 seconds. And so we're not going to bother with that because I know there's not a real surface charge because it hasn't run in a while. So we're going to hit OK. We're going to go AGM flat plate. Let's go to cold cranking amps. Those are 750s. Shows 51%. So it shows a 91% charge and a 50% score on the batteries as far as the battery health. All right, so it is showing that we have juice in the batteries right now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit the starter and see if we can get it to do something. Sure it's in neutral. Shut the fuel shut off. Turn the key on. I'm getting nothing. My glow plugs, I'm getting nothing. From the radio, I'm getting nothing, which is odd because the radio in this will run even with the key off. That's something you always have to make sure you have turned off. So I've got to find a problem. I obviously must have a bad connection somewhere. All right, so I started poking around down here and I found this cable that I have off. Like I said, it's been a few months since I've messed with this thing, and I was really just kind of really quickly doing it. I just touch this down to the alternator. This goes to where the cables go to the starter, and I touch it to the lug on the alternator, and I got a spark there. So I think this is the wire that's going to supply juice to my system. So I'm going to hook that up, and then we'll see if this thing will start or not. Okay, so I hooked this cable back up. Now I'm going to put the grounds back on the battery, and we'll see what we get. I'm going to just touch these real quick. Actually, I want to start something on fire. Oh yeah, I just heard the radio kick back on. So I'm just going to hook the one battery on first because I want to use this diagnostic tool to test each battery individually. But let me see what I have here first. So there's the radio. Turn the key on. There we go. Wow, so this thing came in pretty handy because I just assumed those batteries were dead because it was just flat dead. I couldn't get anything out of it. Hooking this battery tester up, I was able to see that it did have voltage in there. Let's go to the other side. And we'll hook up the positive, hook up the ground. Okay, and then it lit up, it came on. So select car, 12 volt, in vehicle, battery test. AGM flat plate, cold cranking amp 750, 53%. So this one has more juice. So I'm going to hook this one back up and then we'll get this thing started and we'll be able to check the charging on it and see how it does, if it'll analyze the charging system for us. All right, so let's go over here. Let's get this thing started and then we'll get the VDiagtool back on there to see what it'll tell us about charging on this thing. So let's turn the key on. I need to hold the glow plugs on for a little bit. It's actually not too cold out. It's December, like December 14th or something like that, and it's got about 82 degrees here. It's not cool. It does not feel like Christmas time. Right, so this thing does have a voltmeter on it. It was charging a little more for a second, then it dropped back down. I'm going to plate the glow plug. Oh, there we go. You can see how it's a little twitchy, but I just put a new regulator on it when I was trying to figure it out before, and maybe it's just not working right. Let's go over to the other side over here. There's less sun. There's to look this up. Okay, so we're going to go to car, 12 volt, in vehicle. Let's go to charging test. So let's give us a countdown. Increase speed to 2500 RPM, hold for 10 seconds, press OK and continue. So okay, that felt like 10 seconds. Okay, so let's hit OK. Testing, please wait. So this little countdown. Okay, so 13.4 volts under load, 12.9 volts with no load, and the ripple is 505 megavolts. I don't know what that is. I'm not a real nerd with that kind of stuff, so I don't know. What I do know is that it is charging. So when they put a load on the alternator, it's charging at 13.4 volts. Which is accurate. That's right, because for 12 volts you want 13.4, and then a 24 you want what, 28.8 or something like that. Actually, I think 14 is what you want. 14.4 is optimum, but that's still charging. And just at an idle or with no load, it's at 12.9 volts. So now I know my alternator is good, which is good for me because let me shut this off. So what's good about knowing that, on this vehicle, this alternator, you can see it down here, it's got a pump on the back. So the steering pump is mounted on the back of this alternator. And what that means is that this alternator is not cheap, and it's not real easy to find. You can get them. I did look it up a few months ago when I was messing with this, but they're not cheap because of that pump that runs off the back. So for diagnostics, you're not going to want to just buy an alternator for $350 to throw in here and find out it wasn't the alternator. The old one's still good. So right there, that would pay for having this tool right there. I think the tool's like 59 bucks, and with my promo code you can get 10% off. It's a real good tool to have. I really like it so far. So let's go ahead and let's try the cranking evaluation on here. So let's go to car, 12 volt, in vehicle, cranking test. Let's see what it tells us to do. Please turn off engine before pressing OK to enter the test. Okay, so the engine's off. Start the engine. Okay, we're going to come right back to this. Okay, it already did the cranking test. It took 18.8 1880 milliseconds. The max voltage was 12.56. The minimum was 1129. So it's normal. So that's showing me that the starter's working normal, and that's good too. Now I've just got to figure out where my battery drain is at. All right, so I was already done filming everything for this video, and then I decided to bring this the VDiagtool over to my M1161 growler, and I want to check these batteries on it. I've got these blue tops. They're almost 2 years old. The date on them is March of 23, so in about 3 months they're going to be out of warranty. So I thought I'd put this on here and just test them. Now this thing starts okay, it's not having a problem, but these batteries are testing as bad already. So I've got it hooked up. Let's go 12 volt, in vehicle, battery test, and AGM spiral, cold cranking amp, there's 750 cranking amp. And we're going to test it, and they both test bad. Now this is showing state of health 3%, state of charge 87%. I just put the charger on this for about, I don't know, about 2 hours, and it brought that up to 70%, but that state of health is at 3%. It's showing a bad cell. Now let's check the other battery. Let's see what this one does, because this one was showing bad too. I didn't put the charger on this one yet. Okay, oops, gotta go back. AGM spiral, cold cranking amp, 750 amp. 3% state of health, 0% charged. And it's saying charge and then retest. Well, that's what this was showing before I do the charger on it. So these things are already bad, but it's still starting. So if I didn't have this VDiagtool and I didn't put it on there, I would have been running this, and in just a few months or whatever, these batteries would have finished off. It wouldn't have started, and then they would have been out of warranty already. So that's $700 worth of batteries right there. Now I'm going to take these out. I'm going to take them back to O'Reilly's, have them test them, and I'm going to get them to replace them for me. And that'll save me $700. So you buy one of these for $50 or $60 on Amazon, and it can save you a lot of money. So I've got a lot of vehicles around here. I've got, I don't know, at least 20 vehicles around here. I have a lot of batteries, and so I'm going to use the heck out of this thing. I'm going to kind of keep it a regular thing every couple months just to go around and test all my batteries and just see the state of them. And if the state of health is way down there like that and they're still in warranty, then that's the time to get them warranted. And even just before a long trip, you know, the car might still be starting, everything's still going good, but you might go on a long trip like through the desert or whatever, and where it's hot or something like that, or up in the mountains where it's cold in wintertime. And that's when you're going to find a battery that's working great here in 80-degree weather isn't going to work in 30 or 40-degree weather. And you'll know it because you'll test it with this, and it's going to show you that the state of health is 3% or way down there. So I'm glad I did this. I'm glad I got this from those guys, and I'm glad that I'm doing this video to kind of show what it is. And I just encourage you guys, get one of these things. It could save you a ton of money, rather than just waiting for these to die and then having to buy a set and losing your warranty. So anyways, thanks for watching. All right, so I got the software downloaded. I'm just going to double click on the BT500 link there. Press and hold down the OK device on the key on the device. It should be here. We press and hold down on that while it's plugged in. Oh, I got to push and hold it. All right, and that right there is the last information, or the information from the last test I did. 53% charge, 100% SOC, 401 amps. It was a 750 amp cold cranking up battery. It shows the ohms, shows the volts, and it shows suggested replace. So I was looking through their website real quick to make my count. Here's the BT500. So it says here it'll do 6 volt, 12 volt, and 24 volt. From 5 to 3,000 cold cranking amps. That's pretty high. And then it'll do battery test in and out of vehicle, starter alternator test. So all right, so I went on their website. You can fill out a thing to get information from them, to subscribe to their stuff. They've got other test tools too. They got, I'd really like to test this one out because I've got an Autel and I kind of really don't, I'm not super happy with it. And then they keep trying to get me to give them another $800 a year to be able to upload the latest data. That's something I'm going to look into. Okay, so let's go to support. Let me show you here. There are other settings here. There's for testing motorcycles. See select battery, see battery rating. So you can put in motorcycle batteries because they're going to test out different, I guess. It's got the waveform test. I would click that, but then we're going to have to sit here and watch it do it. You can go into setup. You could pick your language. You could turn the buzzer on and off. Equipment test, key test. Oh, so you can test it. Look at that. It's got a way to test it. Make sure that it's working okay. Like each button's working. That's pretty cool. Hit escape twice to exit. And then a screen test, just to make sure the screen's working right. You get all the colors flashing through. That's pretty cool. It's got a little self-diagnostic on it.